Kwame's grip tightened on the box. "You are not me," he growled. The shadow laughed. "Then why do you feel me inside you? Why does your heart tremble?" Kwame's steps faltered. The doubt in his heart stirred. Y'all had said the shadow only hunted those who had sinned. But Kwame had done nothing wrong. Had he? Then, a whisper from the past. A face flashed in his mind. A boy. Jabari. Kwame staggered. The memory was sharp, sudden. Jabari, his childhood friend. The river. The fight. The secret he had buried. "Do you remember now?" The shadow crooned. "You do not belong here." Kwame took a shaky step back. He could feel the weight of the cursed box. The spirits could sense it too. "Give it to us," they demanded. He gritted his teeth. No, he had come too far to turn back. The box had to be buried. But then, his own shadow lunged forward. It grabbed his wrist, cold as death, and squeezed. "Did you think you could get rid of me?" the shadow mocked. Pain shot through his arm. His grip on the box weakened. "No!" Kwame roared, trying to shake free. But the shadow was stronger now. It was feeding on his fear, growing, twisting. He was losing. Then a memory surged through him. Jabari, the river, the fight. Kwame had pushed him. He had watched as the current swallowed his friend whole. He had never told anyone. He had buried the truth. And now, the truth had come for him. "You are a sinner too, Kwame." The shadow's voice was thick with triumph. "And sinners must pay." Kwame gasped as the darkness wrapped around him, pulling him into the abyss. The cursed hills swallowed his scream. Darkness swallowed Kwame whole. He felt weightless, drifting in a cold void. His breath came in short gasps, but there was no air to breathe. "Is this death?" he thought. Then a whisper, "You do not belong here." The voice was not his shadow's. It was something older, something ancient. Kwame's eyes snapped open. He was no longer in the Curse Hills. He stood in a vast, endless plain covered in mist. Strange shapes shifted in the fog, watching, waiting. He turned slowly, his heart thudding. The cursed box was still in his hands, but it felt lighter, different. Then, a figure stepped from the mist. Jabari. Kwame's chest tightened. His childhood friend looked the same as he had the day he vanished beneath the river, except his skin was pale, his eyes hollow. "You left me," Jabari whispered. Kwame stumbled back. "No, it was an accident." Jabari tilted his head. "Then why did you never tell anyone?" Kwame's throat went dry, because he had been afraid. "Your fear made you a liar. Your guilt made you weak," Jabari said, stepping closer. "And your shadow, your own darkness, fed on it." Kwame's fingers dug into the cursed box. This was his punishment. But no, he wouldn't let the past control him. His shadow had gained power because of his fear. But what if he let go? What if he accepted the truth? He took a deep breath and looked Jabari in the eye. "I am sorry," he said. "I should have told the truth. I should have faced what I did." Jabari's expression softened. The mist around them shifted. The curse box grew hot in Kwame's hands. The spirits were watching. Then his shadow appeared before him. It no longer looked like him. It had become a monstrous shape, long and twisted, with burning red eyes. It snarled, reaching for him. "You cannot defeat me," it hissed. "I am you." Kwame gritted his teeth. "No," he said. "You are only the part of me that I refuse to face. But I see you now, and I am not afraid." The moment he spoke, the cursed box cracked open. A powerful wind howled through the mist. The spirits screamed. The shadow thrashed, clawing at the air, but it was shrinking, losing power. Kwame dropped the box. It shattered against the ground. Light exploded from within. The shadow let out a final, agonized wail, then vanished. Silence. The mist faded. The air became warm. And Kwame was free. He fell to his knees, gasping. The cursed hills surrounded him once more, but they no longer felt haunted. Jabari's spirit stood before him, smiling. "You have set me free too," he whispered. Tears burned Kwame's eyes. "I'm sorry," he said again. Jabari nodded. Then, with a final glance, he faded into the wind. Kwame took a deep breath. He had faced his past, and he had won. The sun began to rise, and for the first time in years, Kwame's shadow was just a shadow. Kwame stood at the edge of the Curse Hills, watching the golden sunrise paint the sky. For the first time in years, he felt light. His shadow stretched beside him, normal, silent. No longer a hunter, no longer cursed, just a shadow. He took a deep breath. It was over, or so he thought. A cold wind brushed his skin. Somewhere in the distance, a whisper. He was not the only one. Kwame's breath caught. He turned sharply, scanning the hills. Nothing, just the wind, just the trees. But deep inside, he knew this battle was won. But the war? The war had only just begun. Kwame stands at the edge of the Curse Hills, the sunrise casting long shadows. He breathes in deeply, feeling lighter than he has in years. His shadow now moves like a normal shadow, silent and still. Kwame, softly to himself. It's over, finally. A gust of cold wind brushes against him. He stiffens. Whispering voice, unseen entity. A faint, eerie whisper carried by the wind. He was not the only one. Kwame freezes. His heart pounds. He scans the hills, searching for the source. But there is nothing, only silence. Kwame, firmly, shaking his head, trying to reassure himself. No, it's nothing. Just the wind. But deep inside, he knows the truth. Something else is out there. Watching. Waiting. The wind howls again, carrying with it a faint chuckle from the shadows. Kwame grips his fists, his face set with new determination. Kwame whispers to himself, eyes narrowing. This battle is over, but the war? The war is just beginning. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Collision new videos drop every Friday. Don't miss out on more spine-chilling adventures. Eyes who knows what other secrets hide in the shadows. See you next time